name is Dr. John Rise. I'll be the instructor of Psychology 180C, LGBTQ Psychology. We'll meet Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 10:45 a.m. in NSB 241. You're seeing this orientation video because unfortunately I cannot be in class on Wednesday, August 28th. I have a schedule conflict, so instead what we're going to do is we will have a couple of things available to you where you can get oriented to the course and to myself. First, I will be in my office, NSB 149, on Monday, August 26th from noon till 2 p.m. If you are around on campus, please stop by, send me an email, let me know you're going to come by so I know what to expect you. Then on Monday, September 2nd, that is a Labor Day holiday, so we will not meet. So our first in-person meeting will be on Wednesday, September 4th in NSB 241. I would like you also to read over the syllabus, which is attached here. Your first assignment is going to be the syllabus quiz, which is due on Thursday, September 5th. Last, there is, of course, the course orientation video that you're watching right now. And then there will be a live video conference during our normal class time. So on Wednesday, August 28th from 9:30 to 10:45. There are multiple ways for you to log in. The easiest way is going to be to use this link to ccconferzoom.us. Follow that link, download the Confer Zoom app to your computer, and you'll be able to participate in the live video conference. Then you can also log in, though, with your telephone, with an iPhone, or with Skype. If you're interested in adding to the course, and if you know of someone who's interested in adding to the course, I will do ads on Wednesday, September 4th when we meet in person, but I will be taking roll both during the video conference as well as on Wednesday, September 4th, and I'll do all the ads at that point. Currently we are full, but if people do not show up, I will drop them and then we will have room for additional students. Okay, so let's take a second to go over the course. Let's look at the syllabus first. So your course syllabus has a variety of information available to you. You can see here I've made a table of contents so you can sort of quickly scan through this and see what's available. It's got my email address, my office hours, which will be on Mondays from 12:30 to 1:30, my general philosophy about teaching, and then the required course materials. I'm going to take a look at the course materials. You will need the first edition of the LGBTQ Psychology textbook by Clark Ellis Peele and Riggs. You can get it used or you can rent it. There is a new edition coming out in October. Of course, it's not ready in time for us, but this edition should be perfectly fine. If you're a psych major, I would also encourage you to buy the publication manual of the APA if you don't already have it. We are going to use APA citations in here, and if you're a psych major, you're going to use them throughout your career. For the rest of you, I will have sources available to you that will give you a guide for how to do APA format if you haven't done it before. Another note, this course is going to use Canvas as our online course management system rather than Blackboard, which is what Mills has used in the past. Right now, Mills is looking at options of using Canvas or Blackboard, and so I'm going to need to get your feedback on how you think this course is functioning for you. In general, I find Canvas to be a bit more student-friendly than Blackboard, but I would love to hear your feedback. To access the Canvas course, you're going to go to these links or at mills.instructure.com. That will open up the course and you'll see all the course materials and assignments and things like that you'll need to work on. In addition, for some of you, when you log into the Mills course, especially if you're off campus, you may get an error 500 internal server error message. We're not really sure why that's happening. They are working on correcting it, but all you have to do is go back and log in a second time and the problem should disappear and you should be okay. And so just make that note. If you have any problems, you can contact Canvas Student Support, or you can send me an email and I'll see if I can help you out. In addition, you'll see things I recommend for you to help be successful in the course. It's got the add and drop deadlines. It's got the days where we won't meet because of holidays. And then our final exam will be on December 12th from 8 to 11 in the morning. Okay. Course policies, there is a late policy. For assignments we do out of class, you have a 48-hour window to turn them in late for partial credit. There is a few opportunities for extra credit, but again, not very many in the course. There are also some in-person assignments we'll do in class. Those cannot be made up. They happen about every week or so, depending on our schedule, and you'll see them in the course schedule at the back of the syllabus. Those in-class assignments are what I use to assess your measure of the textbook. Have you been reading the textbook? Okay. You can see here in the grade section, there's about 500 points possible. There are 10 textbook reading responses to go along with the 10 chapters we're going to cover in the book. And each of those is worth only about 10 points, so 2% of your grade. So missing any one of them is not necessarily going to have a negative impact on your grade, but if you're consistently not coming to class, you're going to miss out on those points. Those textbook reading responses will be done at the very beginning of class in the first 15 minutes related to the chapter that we are covering. The first one we're going to start with will be chapter number 2. And I will remind you of this before you ever come to class. And if you look down on the course schedule, you can see when that is due. So here, it's not that first textbook response is not going to be until the week of September 7th. So technically, that's going to be on Monday, September 9th. Okay, so you've got some time. And again, I'll talk more about this when we meet in person, and I can answer any questions on the video conference. In addition to that textbook, though, as you can see here in the schedule, there are a variety of additional readings I've assigned. Because this field changes so rapidly, we need to make sure that we're keeping up with the literature because the textbook is 9 years old. So each week I will assign you readings. This is a partial list. These may be modified. I may add additional readings as we move through the course, but you can kind of take a look, and these are hyperlinked, so you can start working on them right now if you're interested. These first 2 readings are just from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. They are to give you a philosophical background in queer and feminist theory related to sex and gender identity. So if you've not taken an Intro to Queer Studies course, then you may need to read those. Some of your courses actually may have talked about some of these things, and they may be very familiar, which means then I would just suggest skimming these. Okay, and then we will talk about them when we meet in person on September 4th. Okay. In addition, what you'll see here is this is the login information for the orientation. So again, if you didn't see it in the email, it's also posted right here. In addition to those textbook reading responses, we're going to do a lot of active discussion. So you're going to talk about the articles that I've given you in class, and I'm going to have you write a reflection afterwards. Those of you that have taken me for lifespan psychology know how this works. I want you to reflect on a particular point or a few points after we talk about them in class. In addition, the other thing that I'm going to have you do during October, which is LGBT History Month, is I want you to develop a set of resources related for sexual and gender minorities, or related to groups of sexual and gender minorities. And that resource list is basically to potentially give out to somebody who is newly part of that community, who is an ally and wants to learn more. Where would you point them? So this is going to be something that's not very scientific. It's really going to be blogs. It's going to be audiobooks. It's going to be websites you might have found. It could also be podcasts. Anything like that will be helpful. I'll talk more about that assignment. That'll essentially be about halfway through the course. Lastly, for the end of the course, I'm going to have you create an annotated bibliography where you research a topic related to LGBTQ psychology, reading the research literature now. You're going to write a summary about what do we know about that topic, and then you're going to include a bibliography, and in that bibliography, you're going to include an annotation which talks about what did you find useful about these sources? How good do you think they are? How might we improve on information in that field? If you've never done an annotated bibliography, I will spend a lot of time going over how this is going to work for the class. Okay, next, let's go ahead and talk about the Canvas setup for the course. So again, on page 6, you'll see the instructions for getting to Canvas. When you log in, it's going to ask you for your normal Mills portal login information. Once you're there, go to the courses section and you should see LGBTQ psychology. Click on that link and it's going to open up to the home page, which has links to how to email me. Again, of course, it talks about the video conference we're going to do. It talks about the other dates that are important. There's another copy of the course syllabus if you need it. There's also some information about inclusion, gender, sexuality, and names and preferred gender pronouns, as all of you are familiar with here. How to write an email to your professor, and then at the very bottom of this page, what you're going to see is hyperlinks to all the modules we're going to cover in the course. Right now, you can only access the first 2 modules, the course introduction, which is just about the syllabus, and there's a syllabus quiz in there. That is the first assignment we're going to work on. The syllabus quiz is not due until Thursday, September 5th, so you have some time, but you can work on it at any time. Then in Module 1 is going to cover Chapter 1 in our textbook, and then also those 2 readings that I had already assigned you. The other modules are not yet open. They will open as we get closer to those dates. And then as you click on them, here's a course introduction. It's got each section is going to have the learning outcomes I have for you, information like how do you write a professional email to your instructor, the syllabus, of course, right, the reading you have to do every week, and then any graded assignments. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea. You can click on Module 1. What you'll see is it's got learning outcomes, it's got the reading you have to do, including hyperlinks when appropriate, and then in this first week in person, besides the syllabus quiz, there are no other assignments. Okay, so you'll do the reading, and then we'll come and we'll talk about them in class for that week. Okay, hopefully that gives you an introduction to the course. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and to setting up this course. Again, I apologize for not being able to be there in person on the 28th, but I look forward to seeing you at the video conference from 9:30 to 10:45. Thank you very much.